Yo, what's going on, everybody? Episode 4 of Peacemaker is officially out. It's time to dive into it with full spoiler details. I don't recap every single moment. I just give my overall basic thoughts on the show, and I will, of course, include spoilers, because there's jokes, character moments, and certain things that I have to talk about without this. And of course, if you guys are new here and you also love talking Peacemaker or just in general any other sort of geeky content, make sure to slap that like and subscribe button down there, as well as leave a comment on what your guys' thoughts are on this episode and in general the entire series. Last week I saw episodes 1 through 3 and the trailers didn't win me over completely, even though I loved the Suicide Squad and I love James Gunn's writing and directing. There's just something about the trailers that the second one caught my attention. I thought it was funny. I just never was really caring for a Peacemaker show. He was my least favorite character in the movie, and nothing against John Cena. I just didn't really care, and there was nothing wanting me to go follow him. Episodes 1 through 3 proved me wrong. I said, okay, I'm in the humor, the story, everything you have played out here. I'm actually starting to care a little bit more about Peacemaker. And episode 4, just like episodes 1, 2, and 3. 1, great. 2, even better. 3, fantastic. Episode 4 continues that streak of being better, and what James Gunn does best is giving us characters that maybe we should hate, but we somewhat start to care about, and that is what he's doing here with Peacemaker, and we have a lot to talk about today, so make sure, guys, again, leave your comments, your theories, and what you think might be happening later down the road. I'm not going to recap everything, but we got a lot to talk about, especially, once again, that intro. It is one of the greatest intros for TV of all time. Every time it jumps up, I start doing the same dance as well and really much getting into the vibe of this entire story because it just is the music, the soundtrack, all that sorts of things really much play a key piece to that intro, and it's just perfect. Like, it is a perfect way to start off the show. There are certain intros that maybe you could skip or finish. This one is one of the greatest that you just can't take your eyes off it. And for me, coming off the aftermath of last week's episode where, Amanda Waller's daughter ended up killing someone. Well, not killing someone yet, but, there's that aftermath with that. We do see that she ends up almost killing Judo Master in here, but also adding in Peacemaker froze up. Vigilante is with them now. How is this all going to play? And of course, Peacemaker also finds out in this episode that his father is imprisoned due to them. This is very much an aftermath episode, and typically episodes like this can be a little bit slower paced, but this one, the 46 minutes just flew by like that, and it never stopped the pacing, with great action all around, especially when John Cena's Peacemaker has to go up once again against Judo Master, and he gets that kind of rematch, but then of course Amanda Waller's daughter actually ends up shooting him, and he gets all pissed about it, but in a sense there's a deeper lying layer to that I think is starting to really uncover and come out. And one of the things that I'm really much satisfied in this nature is seeing how Peacemaker himself, when we look at everything on the spectrum with this guy, by the very end when he goes to Harcourt at the bar and says, I just want to know what's on my file. I'm not here to try and flirt with you or seduce you. Like, I just want to know what's on that file. And when we start to kind of figure out that there's something about his past with his brother, and we see those flashbacks of him while he's drinking and smoking and showing stuff to his past and what his father did. Why did his father make him do that? I think those are the questions that we're still wondering. But there's that heartbreaking realization of what is going on here that, truly enough, did break my heart and actually started to make me care for Peacemaker as a character. And does he actually care about his dad? Is there a certain layer to that of why? Because the second he finds out he's in prison, there just became this whole ordeal. And it is nice to see that Vigilante and him a little bit more of a bonding moment in there, because of course they're driving and they have this great conversation, this banter with one another about last week, how he pretty much let him get tortured. But of course, as that continues, we see what happens with Peacemaker. He goes in the house, he gets the new helmets, they have those great conversations about how his father was the White Dragon and all those natures. And then the neighbor tells him, oh, your dad's in the cops. And he ends up going to the police station, and he's pissed because he ends up finding out that they were the ones, his team was the ones that betrayed his trust. And then Amanda Waller's daughter goes, hey, Vigilante. And that was a great thing of how he goes, I'm not Vigilante. I don't know who you're talking about. That was a fun ordeal in there. And again, I'm starting to really come around to Vigilante. A lot of you guys let me know last week that he's more in the vein of Frank Castle than he is Deadpool. But in this context, while he is very much sounding and feeling like Deadpool, there's something about Freddy's performance that I can't get enough of, and I love when he's on screen. And I think it's funny how she kind of convinced him to go into prison and end up killing or attempting to kill White Dragon after Peacemaker botched it that, hey, yeah, we switched all this, but I'll take the blame once this mission is finished. His father doesn't want that. His father just pretty much shits all over him. And again, putting him into this depressive era, which some people might look at the character that we saw in the Suicide Squad and how different he is in a parallel. I feel and understand that, again, in an ensemble like that, you don't have that much time to dive into each character. But I think looking back now, because I just rewatched the Suicide Squad again, you can see the parallels of how he does feel like a loner at times. And you see it in the Suicide Squad. When they're all dancing, he's dancing by himself. There's certain elements in there that really much harken back to who he is now. And I think actually getting this time to marinate a little bit more provides that time to make us care about him a little bit more. And he's not just this brooding hard ass on the outside. There's something deeper in there, and we're seeing this, of course. But when Vigilante goes into prison, and the whole conversation, I started dying laughing because he's pretty much just completely roasting these other complete racists and trying to get them all provoking, and then he just kicks their asses and then goes after White Dragon, but White Dragon understands, no, I'm not gonna fight you, dude. I know what you're trying to do. That was fun. Of course, Vigilante gets out of prison. Hardcore drives him home. But with the realization, we also see that just Peacemaker, he's down in this depressive era. Where is this going to go? What is going on with the butterflies? Because when he's fighting Judo Master knows about the butterflies, and he says there's more to it than you know. Then it brings to the most obvious thing of it all. Their main informant now, there's this courier who's kind of the Amanda Waller for this season. I called it. He was a butterfly. There's no reason to not have it. Now the question is, does Amanda Waller know this? I have a feeling that she does. But of course, the second he goes to grab the bowl, I knew that tongue thing was going to come out, and that's how the episode was going to end. And I'm like, damn, cool. Well, let's get this going a little bit more. Let's see where that goes. And it was really interesting to see that. Now that it is confirmed, there's a couple more episodes left. We're at the half point now. 4 more episodes. I'm completely sold on this show now. I laugh, I smile, I have such a fun time with this, and I can't get enough of this show. I love Peacemaker, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys are probably feeling the same way. And if we're talking about it, there's 2 other scenes to talk about. One was when the neighbor was telling him that he wasn't a superhero, and Peacemaker started calling Batman a pussy, and how all my villains are buried 6 feet under. That was really funny. Now, Batman is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. He's my favorite DC superhero of all time. My girlfriend thinks Batman is a pussy and always makes fun of me for that. So this, like, she's gonna absolutely love that scene, and I feel like a lot of you guys will as well, because Peacemaker's he's making good points, but Batman's still my heart and soul. So that was funny. And then the after credit scene, because I did not know, and I should have known better, that every one of the episodes has an end credit scene. So I'm actually gonna have to go back and check out the other ones from episodes 1, 2, 3. But the whole conversation between him and Vigilante about the duck and the suit, I was dying. I laughed my ass off throughout this show. And the fact that this episode's called The Chode on the Road or something like that, like, what? Like, just, it's hilarious. I love this show. I love what James Gunn's doing, and I can't wait to watch the next one, guys. So make sure, again, to leave your comment, hit that like and subscribe button. What are your guys' theories for next week? And, of course, until next time, stay classy.